I am here.
I can hear you. There you are.
And hopefully you can hear me a little better.
That's great. I can hear you fine. All right. Well, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here.
Well, in just a minute, my ugly mug is going to disappear off this screen, and Janelle's going to turn the whole show over to you. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're in store for today? Because it looks like a lot of fun there.
You know what? I've had a lot of fun getting this together, and really get to enjoy cleaning on different products, testing new products, and experimenting with what I know a lot of my guys are going to be hitting in the field up front. We're going to start off today. I'm going to spend a little time with you on just some basics of cleaning science so that we can take that and put it to a bunch of cleaning scenarios. So a quick kind of summary. We've got products that have been sent in by Shaw Floors. Thank you very much for our team friends there that have sent us a variety of their nylon. I've got some of their Bellera. I've got their new flooring product that a lot of cleaners haven't seen called Florigami. Florigami. Look out for carpet tiles in the residential setting, glued down everywhere. We've got some luxury vinyl planking. We've got some stairs to talk about. We've got upholstery fabrics of different senses. And yes, we have a unicorn.
That is the primary feature. I have thousands of little girls all over America are wishing that they were carpet cleaners right now so they could join in and learn more about the unicorn. And I hear that unicorn may have had an accident, so we'll learn more about that. Well, Shawn, I appreciate you joining us today. I'm really excited for you to share with the audience. So we're going to turn the whole program over to you. But right before we do that, I wanted to let our audience know something that I mentioned yesterday. Zoom conference technology is not perfect. Sometimes glitches happen. Sometimes things happen. If we all disappear off the screen or something like that, just log out and log back in, because that's what we'll be doing. If Shawn disappears from Denver for some reason because a storm comes through and takes out his power, we'll take back over. So just bear with us, and if you have an issue, just log out and log back in, and that usually fixes it. Kind of like, you know, most IT departments tell you to do. Restart your computer. That's pretty much how to handle these conferences. So Shawn, take it away.
Thank you so much, everybody. Hey, so we're going to take some time today and talk about a lot of scenarios. I wanted to start off the day by looking at some different setups, but before we can get too involved in that, we definitely need to understand some basics of cleaning. So what I want to encourage all of our attendees to do is to spend some time studying the basics of cleaning science. You know, the things that you might have heard from, like cleaning with C.H.A.T or cleaning with the right kinds of solubility, understanding what types of soils will dissolve in what kinds of materials and solutions. And the study of that will make you a lot more prepared and help you be ready for taking on varieties of soiling challenges, from the light delicates all the way through the trashed out, abused commercial goods that are sometimes made a little bit more industrious to handle some of that abuse that it ends up getting. Today's focus is certainly going to be on HydraMaster. Great job making it 50 years. They've got an arsenal of products available for you to choose from, whether it's Presprays, rinses, spotting solutions, hard surface products. They've reinvented their chemistry line in the last few years, and a lot of exciting products that we're going to play with a few today and just really have some fun. So we've got a bunch of different machines too. We're not going to be just doing truck mounted and hot water extraction. We've got some low moisture cleaning techniques to review with different types of machines, like what Doyle talked about from Carpet Cleaning Industries, and Dan Gregory's, the CRB, the counter rotating brush machines, and the needs of those in our systems. We've got one of those. We've got a Cymex to run. We've got a Trinity piece of equipment to run. We've got flood treatments to spend some time on. It's going to be fun. I'm looking forward to a great day with you all. One of the first things that I wanted to kind of hit up with everybody, though, before we get too deep into cleaning, is to make sure everybody understands some basics. the basics. And I take this back to, as an ISERC instructor, when I start talking about soil and dirty fabrics or dirty floors or dirty carpets, whatever it is, we need to understand that soil a little better. And there's 3 categories of soiling that we generally are approaching. So I want to make sure you understand there's insoluble soiling. There is soluble soiling that generally dissolves in a water base or water soluble solid that'll dissolve into a water polar solution. And there's solvent soluble soiling, like the greasy, oily stuff. And most of the chemistries that we've been exposed to have some levels of chemistry or solution that'll break down either some or many of those types of soils that we deal with. Not every house is the same. Not every carpet's the same. We have tons of varieties of products that we've been exposed to for hundreds of years, 100 years at least, of flooring and fabrics. And tufted carpets, the way we clean things today in residential and commercial environments, was a lot different when the soiling and the fabrics were different. They weren't always made with plastics. You date yourself back before the 1940s and 50s, we were making everything out of wool and cotton and other materials, and there's still flooring around from that time that we're dealing with. So the basics of science of cleaning is to understand, what does your soil dissolve in, and are you choosing a system or system utilizing chemistries or processes to remove that soil the most effectively? Many of us, it's vacuuming. Did we vacuum? We're going to go over some vacuums. I got a bunch of different vacuum systems to talk about. And we'll talk about the different approaches of those as we start off and look at the different systems. We're going to do some spot and stain removal today. We've got some abused carpet. I mean, not okay, it's a part. We've got some carpet we've been tracking in our truck mounts and our vans in on with street dirt to play with on some of the very impractical situations and the types of soiling that we might have had to deal with in those environments. So one of the things that I like to relate to, and it's a topic that in the cleaning sciences, is the first step of cleaning. Let's go for the 5 steps of cleaning first. So let's go through all 5 of them. The very first step of cleaning is dry soil removal or gross contamination removal. So remove what you can dry, whether that's a vacuum or a broom or a leaf blower like they do in the movie theaters that we take care of. Man, they go through with leaf blowers and get all those popcorn kernels off and then just have us blast through those places. But different types of ways to remove the dry soil, step 1. Step 2 of cleaning, soil suspension. The second step of cleaning is where you're going to utilize your cleaning solutions. This is where you're going to use your pre-treatment. This is where you're probably going to involve yourself with chemistry. And the 4 basic fundamentals that we utilize when we're deciding how to suspend soil have commonly been put together in an acronym that it's either C.H.A.T or TACT. And those are the terms that the 4 letters, that the starting terms that they go to. So let's go through that quickly and make sure that we have a basic of everybody understanding where we start from. So oftentimes this topic of C.H.A.T or soil suspension, which is after you pre-vacuum, has been explained using a concept developed by Herbert Sinner called the Sinner Circle, and utilizing the chemistry, heat, agitation, and the time as best we can to manipulate soil suspension in our process. So the first one is to use the right chemistry. So if we know we have a heavy trashed out restaurant with lots of grease and soil, we're probably going to want to use a more aggressive cleaning solution that can go after those oily greases and fish oils from the sushi restaurant and the fryer from the kitchen. So we'll choose perhaps a really strong chemistry portion for that portion of the pie. And if we're cleaning a trashed out, say, commercial tile style, industrial tile product that can really handle a lot, perhaps it's made out of a solution dyed nylon with a really dense fabric system. We can not have any restrictions with that kind of product towards heat. So we'll probably get as hot as we possibly can in this technique and use that portion of the prescription of cleaning as best we can. This kind of aggressive or a very dense carpet is able to handle pretty good agitation agitation. So we're going to be able to use a good scrubbing technique, which might be hand scrubbing or using an automated system or maybe even a rotary extractor to give us some more of that agitation portion. And the last part of cleaning is time. And we do need a little bit of time for soil to suspend and for the chemistry to start working. But if we can maximize the most efficient chemistry, the best possible heat without hurting the fabrics. Some fabrics are sensitive to temperature, like wools and some dyeing systems for finer textiles and fabrics. When you start looking at textiles like fancy area rugs, you might not want to use high heat and aggressive chemistry. But when we're cleaning fabrics and textiles like modular tiles and fusion bonded products, we can get kind of crazy with those without having to worry about as much agitation. When we're writing the prescription for our cleaning system, we're looking at the type of chemistry we choose, how hot we apply it, how well we agitate and work it into the fabric will help create better suspension of those soils off the fabric. And all of these things maximized will start to lower the amount of time it takes to a certain level. Most products in chemistry have a certain amount of use time or active time where they're really good and effective, and then they'll generally start to expel or expire as they've sat there long enough, particularly using oxidizers and those kinds of products. So the basics of chemistry start us off with the understanding of the cleaning steps, which are dry soil removal, number one. Soil suspension is the second step of cleaning. The third step of cleaning is to extract or remove the soil you suspended. The fourth step of cleaning is to groom the material you're cleaning to remove texture or tooling lines or any kind of distortion caused by the cleaning process. And the last step is to make sure it gets dry. Dry soil removal, soil suspension, removal or extraction of that soil. The fourth principle is to groom or reset your texture. And the fifth principle of cleaning is drying. The basic cleaning sciences should fall within those set techniques, whether you are truck mount cleaning, portable cleaning, low moisture cleaning, or any of that vocabulary plays into what you're doing. So just some basic things to think about as we go through some examples, and I'm utilizing these terms during our presentation time today. All right, well, I'm going to do a little technical switch if I can. Let's see if my camera allows me. I'm not sure if it will. I'm going to switch my cameras over. Set up as a separate attendee, and I'm just trying to see if I can do that. So I think it may not allow my second sign-in to do that. If you can hear Doyle or Janelle, I've got a second attendee camera signed in, which is my phone. There we go. Awesome. I think that just worked. So now, there you go. So I'm going to take you on a quick little tour, and I'm actually going to introduce you. Oh, I don't know that that is working yet. If anybody can see me. There you go. All right, it looks like it's working now. So we're going to take a little walk and a journey. And this is Mario. Say, hey, Mario. This is Mario out of Chicago. He's working with us here, helping out today. And he's going to take us out to the truck mount, and we'll show you a setup that we have outside. And do that. Turn the camera around. There we go. All right, follow me out this way. Come on along. So we're set up outside. We've got a few things already in place, like corner guards to block the hoses from moving around. We definitely have got some dirty carpet on our entry area. Got a seal-a-door set up in this area that keeps that really cold Colorado air outside because it actually was snowing. There's some ice on the ground out there. Keep in mind is today's setup when I'm talking to you about this is a cold climate setup for us. We're set up to operate in really cold sub-freezing temperatures. So our pressure line has already been brought inside. I'll review that with you in a minute. Hopefully everybody can still hear me. This is our Kong, as we have named Kong, our CDS direct drive unit that is in a Gorilla style truck. This direct drive unit runs off the van's engine. It is one of HydraMaster's Signature machines have been around a long time. Learned a little bit about its history myself yesterday. And this again runs off the powerhouse of the Chevy van and is a direct drive system that is operating between the seats. And we've got a dog or housing, fiberglass housing that's over top of that unit there. The unit operates by just turning on a switch, engaging the system. It turns on pretty quick and simple. Before I start making noise though with the system, just talk about some of the things we'll have prepped for. Most of the carpet we're cleaning today is nylon. It is fairly dirty, so we might choose different rinsing solutions or emulsifiers that we can actually push through our metering system by siphoning it into the chemical injection system on the unit. For today, we're using clear water rinse. That's our typical go-to for our business. We tend to clean using this acid neutralizing conditioning rinse. It has got an encapsulant in it that helps for wicking problems and other issues that end up developing in post-cleaning techniques and heavy soiled situations. But this product mixes up in a 5-gallon container. We usually fill this, which we've already done. This product then fills. Always use a measuring cup. That's what it looks like if you're curious. Put that in the measuring cup, fill your water tank up first, and then apply your cleaning solution. Once you've got the solution or the tank filled up, fill it into the container after your container has been filled with water. You want to fill with water first, otherwise all of your cleaning solution has the potential to evacuate and bubble during that agitation of the fill. All right, so we've got the machine set up. We've got it in our high heat mode, which means that we've got the temperature set on max that controls the flow of the antifreeze from the engine up into the primary heating system, which on this unit is the heat exchanger just between the seats back into here, this area here. This also has a salsa, which is a secondary heating system on top of that. So we've got it set up. This is our vacuum recovery line. We've got the vacuum recovery line feeding through actually two 2-inch lines into a large filter with a good basket for recovery and filter system. And then we're running through on our systems. We tend to use these locking cuffs. They work really nicely to give us a good fit and lock in place without pulling apart. And they have a little sleeve that slides over to keep them in place. So that's our recovery system that we already have set up. Now, on this van, we do have a fresh water tank that we've had custom made and a vac reel that we've put up here, as well as our hose reel for convenient storage. The accessories on this give us some options to be able to go and have lots of exterior storage on the unit. And for mixing our products and solutions. And then we've got an upright area for our wand storage for all our different tools, pressure tools. We're able to do pressure cleaning with a light pressure gun and wash stuff off, especially after muddy situations happen. And then we've got huge storage capacity in the back of the van to be able to haul lots of equipment and tools. Extra drying equipment, restoration equipment. We do have 2 water tanks we run. We've got about 120 gallons of water we keep in. And then we've got our rug tubes, our areas for storing long tube rugs or large storage, as well as high storage for things like air movers. Oh, I'll let you see that again. Stackable. We've got the Air Max units. We can fit as many as 12 in this little capacity. We've actually got some out making money right now. But that's our large storage on the Gorilla Box unit. These come out of PCS, out of Oklahoma City and Tulsa, and great units. It is naked. Kong still needs a wrap. All right. So once we're ready to start cleaning, and cold, it is cold out here, believe it or not. Once we're ready to start cleaning, and the van has been running and heating already, so we've already got heat inside here. The last thing we want to do when we're ready to start is bring our water line outside. We don't want any of our cold lines sitting out here and freezing on us. So it tends to be when we're ready to go, we'll leave our pressure hoses inside until we're just ready to start. Bring the pressure hose from the warm area, connect it to the machine, turn it on, and be ready to start cleaning, which we probably should just go ahead and start doing. All right, I'm gonna check in with the screen here Yeah, here comes Mario. Follow me around. Good. Looks like everybody can still see us and hear us. Haven't had any Doyle butt in yet to tell me we're messing up. So I'm going to grab my pressure line, which we've already got set here, ready in position to go out to the line. And we're going to hook that up to the truck mount. Connects to the pressure output on the front, where we have two actually. If we are running two at the same time, we could use that. Turn the machine on. We're going to go ahead and run on high mode for maximum vacuum. We're going to close this down to keep some of the heat in. Did we pressurize the pump? I don't know if I turned that pump on. Better check. Pump clutch. Fresh water supply from our tank into the machine. It pumps water from our tank over to the input. Get our pump on. We set our water pressure. Now today we're going to start off by cleaning some residential carpet. So I typically clean residential carpet between 350 and 400 PSI, pounds per square inch. So I'm going to set my water pressure by adjusting the pressure gauge. I've already set my metering on my chemistry to actually prime and make sure product was flowing through. So I'm running the meter to bring product in at about 2 gallons per hour that it gets pulled out of this and injected into this line. All right. Now to keep that cold air out and the warm air in, we've got one of these tools. This is actually made by Ron Hunkins. It's called a Seal-A-Door. He's had a few different styles of them. Great tool. Oh. For blocking and keeping that cold air outside. And it's got a little pass-through door. It actually has a zipper on it. Pretty neat. All right. So we're going to start off with some residential carpeting. We're going to switch cameras over here in just a second. So we'll end up over in this space. And we're going to work on this residential product. This is a Bel Era yarn. I'm going to switch and change over. So we can go ahead and end that one there, Mario. Awesome, thank you for switching the cameras on us. See some Q&A there. Cold temps in Colorado, negative 45 in Alberta. You're right there. I see your comment in the side note there. Thanks for the comment, Ken, on our setup that we've got outside. We're going to switch our cameras and bring this guy over. And bring it over onto the carpet area and show you a couple of demonstrations for some dirty carpet. All right. So first thing I wanted to talk to you about is kind of a what we might call a normal carpet situation. I don't know if we can call it normal. You know, what we would determine as normal carpet that we're dealing with, but this is a pretty nice residential product. It's a newer PET high definition polyester product that C.H.A.T has had out called Bel Era for a while. And as you can see, we've been driving in on it in our workstation here in the shop to give it some pretty abusive soil, snow melt, road grime, and things that have been coming in. Heck, even this, we have the blade line from my snow plow where we had the plow plug our four-wheeler parked in here to bring some rust into the picture a little bit. What I wanted to do is kind of go through the basic steps of cleaning if I was to do a residential carpet cleaning job. The first step, I already illustrated and talked to you about it, pre-vacuuming. You got to pre-vacuum these carpets. The first step in pre-vacuuming is to choose the best vacuum for the job you're about to do. And there's a ton of vacuum choices on the market. I'll have Mario pan over here and we'll take a look at a few of those vacuum options that you might look at. Watch your camera. All right, we've got a few different vacuums that I've brought out today to talk about. Starting from what you might not have seen in a long time, a pile brush. A pile brush would be used for heavy abrasive soils, maybe even the muddy soils that we saw over on the carpet that I was just dealing with. We could run a pile lifter, a tool like this, in a commercial situation in most cases. However, this guy, when I was apprenticed by my uncle 30 years ago, this was the tool that I was forced to run on every residential carpet job, because the theory was if better was possible, good isn't enough. And we ended up having this out on every job. Now, it wasn't a phenomenal vacuum, but it did a great job at lifting the nap, correcting the pile, combing the yarns, flipping the soil so we could recover them much more readily from the surface. A pile lifter like this runs on a single large cylindrical brush. It is still utilized and available in markets today. A lot of rug cleaners will get them for conditioning their pile of their yarns or softening carpets after they've done with their final cleanings. And nap correction can sometimes be attained by using a single dry brush like this. But when you run a tool like this, man, these things, when they vacuum, this guy pulls forward and then you pull it backwards. It's so hard. And you basically comb the yarns and lift them. Very effective on commercial bank entries, schools that have a lot of ice melt, lots of sand built up from the exterior. This is a great tool to consider as a part of that process. Is a good, strong pile lifter. Now, not everybody's going to put one of those on their truck. Certainly most residential carpet cleaners don't end up putting that in their arsenal, but many of you are looking to invest, and I get this question a lot in classes. Which vacuum should I use? Which upright is going to be the best choice? Or should I be using a backpack perhaps? You know, a backpack for the surface soils, which in commercial light surface maintenance, getting that top appearance soil off, often this is the fastest production tool to use. But it doesn't all, unless you add the added mechanical beater bar, you're just using airflow. So we keep one of those on our trucks often for upholstery, surface vacuuming, wall vacuuming, dusting, those kinds of services that we do. Now, next to that in the middle here, I've got 3 different vacuums, and they're actually pretty similar in general performance and what they do. This is a Versamatic, made by Windsor, now Karcher Industries. It's one of the important features we like about it. It's got an adjustable height for the beater bar where you can adjust its impact. It's easy to service out the brush line that's in there. Change the bags out. We do like bag filters for us. We can leave these bags that are left. We can leave the bags behind, give us a little better filtration capture. Especially in today's age where we're being really conscious about pollution and cross pollution and things getting into the air. It's a good idea to use a higher efficiency vacuum system. One of the team favorites right now, and I've been going through varieties of vacuums over the years. One of the things I've looked for is, how strong is that wheel, that drive shaft on the back? This got my attention a few years ago, and it's been sitting here in my handle graveyard. It does get used in the shop quite a bit. I think it currently needs a bag. One thing to check for, I know so many carpet cleaners that have grabbed a vacuum out of their truck or another technician that was using it, and they didn't actually just inspect it first to make sure the last guy put a new bag in it, that the last guy that used it wiped it down when he was done, cleaned the hair and all the grime that was stuck on the bottom of the vacuum prior to its use. We commonly, for our customers, we'll even take that time to clean up the bottom of the vacuum and service it and wipe it down for our customers. Talk to them about their vacuum, do an inspection with the customer so that they know that you care about the long term of their home. And vacuuming is removing that insoluble soil. That insoluble soil makes almost 80% of the soil that we're trying to remove from carpeting. Good filtration. This is a Pro Team product. I liked this one, and I still do for performance. And it's got a big wheel, which makes it really easy to move around, floats on the floor nicely. Has been a great tool. We did replace it. We've moved on to the newer Pro Team unit. They make this guy is a little quieter system. It's pretty. You can turn your brushes on or off. If you don't want brushes for like wool carpeting, and where you don't want to cause extra fiber distortion or anything coming off, then we would turn the brushes off. If you want the brushes on, you can go to the other side. Proper vacuuming, certainly needs to be a quicker pass forward, a slow pass on the return. Quick pass forward, slow pass on the return. Try not to overextend your arm and your back. Just work with it. Rock and dance with the vacuum back and forth over top of the surface, working away from your plug towards wider areas, continuing to embrace a larger service area. A good quality vacuum, in my opinion, I like ones with bags. They've got higher filtration bags available. Adjustable or automated beater bar brush settings will make a huge difference in the overall performance of the tools that we bring onto our trucks. So every one of our cleaning rigs, our vans, has got a commercial level vacuum. You know, I had a customer say to something to me the other day. We were at her house. He said, yeah, I'm sure my housekeeper's going to come in and they're going to show up with a Hoover. That's exactly what she said. Her mindset was that the vacuum the cleaner showed up with was starting the stage, and she expected that it wasn't as quality of a vacuum that a professional flooring specialist or cleaner restorer would have. And we showed up at this home with our nice fancy backpacks and clean lines and gloves and masks and booties and all the things that we would do. And it set us apart from her housekeeper's vacuuming. We are professional cleaners. And part of that step is to choose professional tools. So let's go over and take a look at the effects of vacuuming on some of this abusive soil. It's on this particular carpet. Lots of soil. We haven't vacuumed this in a while. It's been sitting here being driven on in the shop for some time. I swept it the other day. Yeah, I actually swept the carpet. It had so much abusive sand on there. I figured it, and you can hear it. And if you drag it a little slower, you can hear as it gets up into that vacuum brush and up into the bags that's drawn up inside. Give that tool some time to work. You have heavier soils, slow down. Give it some time to run over top of that dirt. Get those particulates up. We could take easily on a job, I don't know, on a standard home, it typically takes us a technician between a half an hour and maybe an hour or more just to vacuum the flooring. Because we're not going to start there. We're also going to grab, have a good vacuum, hopefully with some accessory tool ability to be able to get those edges around the perimeter, maybe pull the vents, vacuum those, wipe them down, do those details that the other guys don't. And that pre-setting, that pre-vacuum work that you do sets the stage for everything else. The guy that comes in to do the pre-vacuuming on the job is typically going to put the furniture on sliders, get everything positioned in the room to be able to go area to area and get the vacuuming done, position and set up the first room to make it ready. Like the master bedroom is usually where we'll start a job. On a residential carpet cleaning job, we'll start in the master. We'll move the nightstands nicely out of the way, pull them out of the way carefully, vacuum underneath those nightstands, those areas, so we can get all that soil, the dusty stuff that people are breathing when they're sleeping in their home, that breathing zone area around their bed, and we get to those edges. And then once we've done the edges and we've detailed around the perimeter and perhaps underneath the bed, then we'll get that nightstand, clean the area, put it back, and we put it back on blocks or tabs. We typically use sticky tabs for our process, and that keeps the furniture tabbed up afterwards. I like to do my tabbing before. Where are my sticky tabs? I left them aside someplace. Mario, could you put the camera down and grab me sticky tabs up top over there? They're up by the blocks over on the top shelf. And what we'll do, one of the things a lot of guys don't realize with these tab systems, and it took me a while to figure it out, you can either block or tab a piece of furniture up after you're done dealing with it. These sticky tab rolls that have perforations in the roll line, top shelf, very top. And we can stick them to the bottoms of the furniture so that you can then set the furniture to another area and then put it back into the service area again. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and grab that roll because I think Mario may not see what I'm looking for. And thank you for your patience. All right, so here we have sticky tabs. These are little perforated rolls of tape. And what we'll do is pre-tab all of the furniture. So now our knees don't get wet as we're working on the project. Uh-oh. And then they actually just stick to the bottom of the furniture legs like this. The other option, if you have heavier furniture, if you don't have something that's pre-perforated like these guys, see, we can now just pick that furniture up with these legs pre-tabbed on the bottom of them, and the furniture tab stays right there. So we can set it to another area, put it back into the service area, and not have to get to that tougher spot. Like with blocks, if we're using furniture blocks, when we're moving our furniture back around, little snap blocks, it's a little more awkward to get that block right in the right spot and get that last one in the back area, which there's all sorts of little lift tools to do that with. This size furniture makes sense just to be able to use a tab or plastic. Some guys use aluminum foil, but you do need to do something to protect that furniture from your surface that you're about to clean. All right, so now that we've kind of prepped and thought the room through, and we've dealt with our pre-vacuuming, step one, it's time for step two of cleaning. Step two of cleaning is soil suspension. We generally do that with chemistry. For us, in the HydraMaster team, HydraMaster has a ton of cleaning solutions available. These are all preconditioners or additives that we commonly will use in our science of cleaning, depending on the soil that we're going after and we're dealing with in the environment. In this environment, we've got a few different carpets here. We have some standard residential grade nylon, happens to be a nylon filament. I've burn tested this to know exactly what it is. It is a tufted product. Next to it, we've got a little surprise product. This one is actually called Florigami. This is a product that comes out of C.H.A.T. They are actual tiles, carpet tiles and planks. And so these are all small planks that I've put down. We would want to be conscious to know the construction we're dealing with. We wouldn't want to use aggressive rotary systems, which could cause edges or over wetting to get underneath this. This construction, we'd want to stick to a surface wand cleaning or a lower moisture system so we don't get any moisture down underneath these tiles. So lower your pressure on your portable or truck mount, and certainly avoid using rotary extractions on this one. And then the last one I've already mentioned to you is the product of the bigger source that we have here. And that's this Bel-Air product with kind of our cheetah pattern or zebra pattern that's been put into the pile. Okay, so since we know we have pretty heavy soils and pretty resistant carpets, I don't have any wool down on the floor here. Heck, even the area rug that we've got over here on position, this is just a polypropylene olefin machine-made piece, nothing particularly investment level. The biggest risk on a rug like this is that it'll probably wrinkle on you when you clean it because of differential expansion of the backing yarns. But all of these fabrics can handle pretty much any one of the pre-sprays that I'm going to show you. Tons of different traffic lane products, starting from something that we tend to use the most, which is a pH of 10 product. So it's stain resistant compliant, for not hurting fluorochemistry and some of the dyes and the acid dye resistors. We use Fast Break HD. Fast Break is a high concentrate. A gallon of this product at dilution can go as far as 65 gallons out of one. So 1 gallon, pH of 10, with a diluted use for residential cleaner carpeting or cleaner commercial carpeting that's being maintained with extraction systems. Fast Break HD is an ultimate choice for being able to go through those. Next down the line, I have Polybreak. Polybreak is an amazing product. This product here is actually specifically designed for our newer fibers, like olefins, oil-loving characteristics, triexta, polyesters, things where pH isn't as important from stain resistance standpoint of the fiber. However, this one has a pH of 11 to 11.5. It mixes up dilution ratios on HydraMaster products are right on their labels. So they give you a little quick code of telling you which product dilution and what it's going to be, how it's going to be used and what its pH is. So Polybreak, great product for, again, the Triextas, the new filament, Bolera, any of those that you need something that's holding, if it's holding on to oil a little bit more to help you cut through that, Polybreak's phenomenal. Another favorite for apartment industry, cleaning and heavy soiled commercial has been Quake and Quake HD over the years. Again, a high pH cleaning product, super bang for trashed out carpets in a liquid form has been a favorite for many, and they won't leave it behind. I got a few of my guys, this is one of their first, they have a trashed out apartment. This has been what they've been traditionally going to. Now, fortunately, HydraMaster is on the edge. They're continuing to bring new products out all the time. And in their light, one of the things that they've done is they've introduced some phenomenal products into the marketplace. Things like Blitz with Grease Breaker, bombs and missiles. I mean, this is a powdered product. You mix it up. It's a powdered product, got a nice citrusy smell. This product you'll mix up into hot water into your inline pressure sprayer, used for restaurants, trashed out commercial, dormitories, carpet where it's just abused and you don't have stain resistant concerns. Max Stream, new product on the market. This product has a pH of 12. Phenomenal performance for trashed out restaurants. Some people start to get, they want a certain smell or certain performance, more oxidizers, more of certain kinds of chemistries in them. HydraMaster has answered the call with tons of options for you to choose from. Soil Break for restaurants, enzymatic base to go after those trashed out food environments where you have heavy tracking from the kitchen. A great product for a preconditioner to put down and allow it to sit, give it about 20 minutes after scrubbing, and then go through and do your extraction process. You can certainly enhance most any of these pre-sprays as well with a boosting grease breaker. This will help break that greasy oil traffic from parking lots or heavier soil spills that might be more oily related. Grease breaker is a great booster to be able to put in. Now, when it comes to mixing pre-sprays, use measuring cups, wear gloves, potentially wear goggles if you're going to be splashing things in your eyes, but use some tools to mix the things properly. They work best in the dilution ratios that the manufacturer designed them in. Far too many people just start glugging product in, and the products don't have, the water doesn't have the capacity to allow the product to perform. It won't work. It's actually going to end up leaving residues that can't hold into suspension during the cleaning process. So, we tend to keep a separate sprayer jug on our trucks, and what that does is it gives us the ability to mix up different kinds of pre-sprays for different kinds of cleaning situations. The majority of my company's jobs tends to be owner-occupied, stain-resistant carpeting, that we tend to do a lot of repeat clients for that need, and so we don't often have to go as often into the heavier arsenal of the higher pHs and the stronger chemistry, unless those scenarios present themselves, like when we do the dorms or our apartment complexes. So we tend to use Fast Break as our mainstay. Another one of the team favorites has been Blitz over the years. It's a great additive for that greasier soil, heavier traffic that's there for mixing up. And the way we mix that, we've got our pre-spray. Water has already been added in there as hot solution. This product is recommended to mix approximately 10 ounces 10 ounces per inline sprayer. And heck, actually, because we have such aggressive soils, we're going to go right up into Max Stream. We'll use Max Stream today. It's similar chemistry as Blitz, but we've got some pretty trashed out carpet there. So we'll go ahead and we'll use Max Stream today. And we're going to take our measuring scoop, put that right into our cleaning solution that's already got water, hot water in the container. If you put the hot water in afterwards, again, it'll bubble all out and you'll lose all of your detergency out of the solution. Mix that up. And then we'll go ahead and hook that up to our water system. Just go ahead and stage the camera there, pointing that way. And get the CRB ready. Thanks. All right, so our first step, because we're going to be using a hot water extraction system, is we're just going to go ahead and use the line from our machine that we've already attached, and we have the water system already hooked up. Attach the pressure line to the quick disconnect of the inline sprayer, where it's going to meter through this little DEMA valve, creating a venturi. As it goes across this area, it will draw product up into the tube and to self-dilute it for us up into the solution. So I'm going to apply it. Now, when I apply pre-spray, say in an average bedroom, I don't saturate pre-spray everywhere. As a matter of fact, I don't want to spray pre-spray so heavily that it sends all that soil down. I want to keep the soil up on the top of the fiber. And if a lot of cleaners start pre-spraying with 1,000 PSI, it's way too much. We need to lightly mist our traffic lane cleaners over the areas where we need them and put a little bit more to suspend the soils. And generally, if you can make them disappear lightly on the surface, you've got enough. I see too many guys just blasting it down into the ground, just sending cleaner through the backing systems of these carpets. All right, so we're going to pre-spray the area. That's our chemistry portion of suspension. The second step after we pre-treat is going to be to agitate. Turn my line off, release the pressure. Go ahead and take the vacuum out there. Disconnect the pressure line. Now this line is ready to start extracting with my next tool. What we're going to use to agitate today is a CRB, a counter rotating brush machine. This machine allows me to power scrub. And another option for you might just be to use a standard grooming tool like a Grande groomer or a brush. Now, before I had a CRB on every truck, this was definitely the best option we have because it has the most physical contact with the carpet surfaces that we would agitate while working that into the fibers by manually doing that. These can also be used for post grooming after cleaning. But because we've got mechanical tools to do it for us, we're going to go ahead and use this guy. And it's just floating on the surface as it agitates and works that pile, works that preconditioner right into the surface of these heavily soiled yarns. Now, for purposes of this workshop, I'm just going to stay in the center of this area with the wand for what I just treated, because in a minute, I'm going to step up past a maintenance extraction system, and we're going to talk about rotary extractors. All right. So once we get some good, strong agitation in and work that chemistry that we feel would be a great soil break, get that soil broken down well. Generally, my heavy traffic areas, even with a little scrub, I like to give them 5 to 10 minutes of time to be able to work and dwell. And while we think about that, it's time for the first chemical giveaway. Doyle, I'd like you to choose one of our participants if you could. We'd like to give away some product, and I'd like you to give away some Blitz. Actually, yeah, let's go ahead and give away a container of Blitz, and we would like to give that to attendee number 37. Attendee 37. You got number 37, Doyle, there? Is anybody in the room?
Yes, we are.
We want to give away some product. Let's give away some Blitz, some traffic lane cleaner.
37 is Nathaniel Davis.
All right.
Davis.
Turn that volume up again. All right, we've got a winner of our first product, a container of Blitz. Doyle just announced. That's awesome. We're giving some dwell time as well. While we give that, I'll talk a little bit more about proper technique and use of your CRB. These CRBs come in these little trays. They're actually very important. It keeps your brushes from going flat. So when you're not using the machine, after you've done your evacuation or your soil suspension, put it back on the tray. It'll keep any drip or drool caught there. It will also help you in keeping those brushes from flattening out. Because when the brushes get flat, the machine hops all over the place, and then you got to recondition it. Okay, so we've given a little dwell time. We scrubbed it in. We had good chemistry. We applied our traffic lane cleaner with a hot treatment of hot solution within hot injection from the truck mount. We have agitated, so C.H. agitation. We gave it a little time. Now it's time to go ahead and do some extraction. We're going to use the Evolution wand, one of our team favorites here. The Evolution wand, 1.5 tube. This tool here, if you haven't used them or played with these before, have a hydrofoil design that allow that air to capture up into here without cavitating, having to make too many turns. So it gets a very efficient extraction up through the tube into your vacuum system and then out and exhaust or evacuation to your cleaning machine. The jetting. Now these tools, when you get them, they actually come with multiple jets. If you didn't realize that, when you do get your new Evolution wands, they actually come with a little worksheet that talks to you about how they're put together and how to service them and go through the valve and take care of it properly and some of the basics. But they also come with multiple jets. They have jetting that is available for these for both your portable, if you're running on a portable extractor, or if you're running on a truck mount. So make sure you've got the right jet tip size that's spraying the best pattern for the right water flow that you're looking to accomplish with your machine. But the water is going to spray out of here, shear towards the vacuum lip, and then recover back up into the system. We're going to turn the water on, turn our valve. We have an end of the hose valve on here. Turn the valve on. Check our water for area for cleaning, and then start our extraction process. Now, a lot of different techniques to cleaning and a lot of different ways that guys will run their wands. Depends on how wet of a process you're wanting to leave behind ultimately. One of my good friends, Adam Hale, I don't know if Adam's in here hanging out with us today, but Adam's, he's got his Adam Hale stroke that we talk about. And his cleaning stroke is a wet back stroke followed by a dry forward stroke. Very efficient because it sprays water, recovers it back up into the head, and then does a dry stroke right afterwards as he's cleaning. And then he'll move over to the next stroke and pull the wand as he's dragging backwards, doing his extraction, and then go forward with a dry stroke. So one wet, one dry. Now, if he had a really dirty carpet, he might do a dry, wet, or multiple passes and what we might call a chop stroke over an area, followed by multiple recovery steps of dry strokes to pick up that moisture. Now, for this heavy soil carpet, with the amount of pre-spray I put down and the amount of scrubbing that we did to put it in here, I'm going to go ahead with a 2 wet, 2 dry stroke. Watch this. Just step back, put the angle of the camera down. Put the camera down. Thank you. Angle it down to the wand. So I'm going to do a wet forward, wet back, release the wand at the end of the stroke, pull back a little bit, move over, forward wet, forward back, or back wet, release the wand and drag it back a little bit. Move over, forward wet, back wet, forward wet, back wet. It's a heavily soiled carpet with lots of pre-spray. So my forward wet stroke is putting down a good amount of moisture to pre-suspend. My back stroke is giving me a good extraction technique coming back across. And then after I go forward and back over an area, usually traversing the entire room across, then I'll go back, passing my stop point, and then crossing over at about a 50% overlap of each of my strokes going back and forth. And then go across to do my recovery. And if I still have some staining or heavy soiled areas like right here, a little chop stroke, see if I can power flush some of that road grime off from my van dripping. And certainly just some steam and good flow got that. Now, I'm at a bit more mysterious spot here. I've got a bunch of rust, maybe from a filing cabinet, maybe from another area, furniture that was left behind with a metal tab or something that was moved and not blocked or just left there from a flood or other previous damages, and we might need to treat that. So we generally will clean the whole area of the room. I'll turn around this way and finish this side of the stroke to where I had pre-sprayed. And man, this wand is a lot more work than that rotary extractor. I think I'm going to step up and do restorative cleaning here sooner than later, but we'll rinse out what I put down. Again, wet forward, wet back, wet forward, wet back, wet forward, wet back. And at the end of my backstroke, I release the wand trigger, drag it a little bit to pick up any water in that overflow. Move forward, side over, half pass, forward wet, back wet, release. Forward wet, back wet, release. And then I'll go back over doing slow water pickup strokes to pick up any excess moisture if possible, because the #1 complaint from carpet cleaners is wet carpet. Extra dry strokes, extra movement of those back out again will make a big difference. Yeah, just turn that off. All right, so now we've done our heavier stain treat, our heavier soil area. Let's just spend a minute or so looking at the rust problem. Over here, we've got our stain section and our stain area of the shop built up for us. And in this area, we have a few different challenges, but we also have the awesome HydraMaster spotting kit and arsenal of products, which we'll talk about a little bit later when we get back into spotting. But for the moment, we're going to go after our current challenge problem, which is rust, with Rust Break 1. And Rust Break, great product for going after rust stains, which have traditionally stay in. Think about that. A spot is on the fiber. Spots are on it. Stains stay in. I think it was Jim Pemberton that brought that. I heard him say that once, and I've repeated it ever since. STA, stay in. Stains. Huh. Yeah, so you have to chemically go after stains to change them. And in this case, we're going to use some Rust Break to work on this particular stain problem. HydraMaster spotting kits come with little flip top bottles. So we'll put our little flip top on there, grab our bone spatula. We're already wearing protective gloves to protect our hands, and we'll go right down onto the spot area where we need to work. So we've got this rust line from a file cabinet, from something, but it's obviously this kind of copperish color that's there. And we can, on this particular product, we're going to apply it directly to the rust area and then lightly work it in with our bone spatula. And you can see the rust is changing and disappearing as I've suspended it. That detergent base right there. I'm just going to work this small area and let that sit there to counteract that rust stain. Oh yeah, it's disappearing. It was that dark copper, and you can see that now we've almost eliminated it, giving a little bit of time. Now I've worked it in with a bone spatula, another technique of agitation, because we don't want to scrub yarns in general process, is to use a tamping brush. Your spotting kit will come with a tamping brush. And your tamping brush, you can tamp right through the towel so you don't contaminate it. And you can tamp and agitate by working that solution in with a mechanical bouncing action. That mechanical action is much more efficient than spreading it about. And you can see that that stain is definitely disappearing. Now, once you've worked the area, one of the things we want to be conscious about when we're dealing with any rust remover is that once we've treated and we've removed the rust stain and done what the chemistry is designed to do to get that all disappeared, then we want to make sure and not leave this stain treatment behind. This is a strong enough acid that could be, harmful to somebody's skin. So we wouldn't want to leave that residue on the carpeted area. So in this case, what we want to do is rinse and flush that out, and we'll use our extraction wand for that. And once we've rinsed, now we've used an acidic rinse as well as an acidic product. So we definitely want to bring in an alkaline SpotMaster General Spotter, and we can neutralize that acidity from the initial treatment. You could also use your traffic lane cleaner. to be able to go after that spot. Now, rinse that out and continue that process along the entire rusty stain that you might need to recover. There's a technique for removing rust. Now, let's be honest. If I had some tools that could make this job faster on a restorative cleaning needs on a carpet of this nature, I'm going to use the best tools that I've got. So we're going to set this wand aside, know that this is our paintbrush in the process, and realize it might be a little more efficient to use a roller. Doyle, I think it's time for another prize giveaway. I think we should give away a gallon of clear water rinse. Clear water rinse. Camera up. Clear water rinse. Got any clear water rinse available, Doyle? Let's give that to participant number 14. Participant number 14. You got a participant number 14 there, Doyle?
I do. Hang on just a second.
Are you with me?
I'm here. Participant number 14 is...
You got to turn the sound up. I just can't hear it. I can't hear you, Doyle. I think you're on the screen doing something. There you are.
I'm here. Are you there? I thought my loud mouth would come through everyone. Brian Pilgard. Brian
All right.
is the winner of our Clearwater rinse.
Congratulations, Brian. That's awesome. Doyle, give me some feedback just while I've got you on the screen there. Are you able to see everything I'm doing okay? I just want to make sure.
Absolutely, Shawn. It's going great.
Phenomenal. Thank you.
Okay. There was a question about whether you're working on a rug or a carpet, and I think I explained it right. Most of those are just carpets that are laid out in your shop. But
yeah, most of what we have here is carpet. Wall-to-wall products we consider carpeting. We do have area rugs that are in the space that would be the loose pieces like this surface piece here. Yeah, or we've got some hanging up on the beams,
Yep.
which we might handle a little bit differently. But when it comes to wall-to-wall carpeting or tufted products, that's what we're working on.
Fantastic. All right, let's keep rolling.
Keep going here. We're going to go ahead and we're going to move on to restorative cleaning. And the restorative cleaning is going to involve the use of the rotary extractor. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-spray some more of the carpet area now, and then we're going to agitate it in. We've had some pretty good spills over here. This is actually residue. I was working on a vehicle seat, and I did a flood treatment on a car seat that had been infested by mice, and we flooded it there. Anyway, I'm going to get a little more product down in this area because we're about to go restorative flush. And we'll treat this area thoroughly so we can show you what the rotaries can do. And then while this is sitting, Mario is going to bring the camera over to the rotary heads, and I'm going to show you some of the RX-20 difference on the different head systems that are out there. The RX-20 is the traditional HydraMaster rotary extractor. It dates back over, I don't know, 35 years now. And Doyle could correct me on the years it's been around. I know that the discussion was yesterday about it. Here's an earlier model of the unit with the original screw handle and a little brake system on the back of it. But what I wanted to focus on a minute for you with is showing you the difference on some of these heads. Many people don't realize there's been a generational change over the years with HydraMaster's rotary extraction, shoes, and head systems. So I've got some older to newer systems here to kind of go over. Here's a traditional the traditional older rotary head that goes on the bottom. And this one was made with 5 separate jets and 5 separate full shoes that have the full 3-inch head for the vacuum lips, and they vacuum back up into that little octopus head there and then hook onto the bottom of the tool. Water goes in and vacuum comes out through there. Make sure you always leave your gasket in there and lubricate that in oil so that you've got a good lubrication and these don't seal up. So this is an original head style. They then changed, and it may not be exactly in the generational time, but these next 2 are pretty much the same heads. These are 3 cone style jets, 1, 2, 3 with half blades for the vacuum, giving us a little more vacuum efficiency. One of the real things I like about the RX-20 is that the shoes are flexible. They move. So when this machine goes over the carpet, if you had an uneven surface, an uneven carpet, a glue down, a ramps area that you might be working on, particularly in commercial, these shoes flex enough to give you a really nice movement in varieties of uneven surfaces. So that's a generational change. It went on to this system. And what most people don't know is that the RX-20 has a specific portable head. The specific head that is designed for portable operation is this guy. They have a new style of a very smooth shoe, and has 5 jets. You can change the jets tips out by just quickly taking them out, and they're little plastic heads. Again, this is designed to run an RX-20 system off from a portable. So you can run this system if you rejet your tool properly to perform the way it's designed. So rotary extraction heads. Let's go ahead and hook one up. Mario, if you'll give us a quick agitation on that carpet. I'm just going to shift the camera. Mario's going to run that CRB where I just pre-sprayed. And then we will run the rotary extractor and show you some technique of using that tool. And I'm going to run it off the truck mount since we've got that outside cooking. I'll throw the truck mount rotary head on the bottom of the rotary tool. I'll show you how I do that. We're going to use the new generation RX-20. The new generation tool has actually a nice little vacuum head that comes off so you can do your edging right here. It's got the new style release on the billet style holder, so it doesn't have the old shoes that held them in place on the back side of the unit. So it locks into the length of the panel. It gives you a really nice solid position when you retract the machine. To get it set up, we lean it back, take the bottom of the head that we've chosen to work with because we're running truck mount, and you reverse spin that until it locks into place. Once you've got that set, it's time to hook up your lines. And we're going to run direct 2-inch right up to the head. And we're going to hook up our water pressure to this. We have an extension cord run over to a separate breaker. And here's our pressure line. Connect up our hot water system in, turn the water on, retract the tool to a good position where it sits nice. I generally like to get it right on my thigh so that when I pull the handle to activate the unit and hit the button, which is just its rotary button bypass, it allows the machine to spin. Then I pull the other handle, and that allows the unit to flow water out. And you can see the recovery coming right up through that tube. As I swoop back and forth, you raise the handle up and it goes to the right. You lower this handle down lightly, just a half of an inch movement, and it goes left. Raise right, lower left. Now I'm going to spin around here and just come at this from this angle. Don't catch your cords. Catch your power cords up in there. You can kick the pressure lines, the vacuum lines pretty easily away from the system. But man, there's a lot less work that goes into running a unit like this than pushing that wand back and forth. As easy as the Evolution is and nice in performance as it has to offer, the rotary extractor systems definitely give you a restorative clean, to the point where I have customers that don't need, maybe don't physically think, the soil levels might have not have been predicted we needed it, but we've had more than one occasion where the customer has said, "Where's that machine? Like, I've never seen one of those before and your guys used it." We have them on all the trucks so that we can do a deep rotary flushing. Now we'll run over about a 5x5 path area first, and then I'll release the water, no water, and just run it. And it's very easy to run, 2 fingers, it balances on the head once you learn how to run a machine like this. And we can go back and go back and forth. Doyle, you said we were giving away free chemicals. Are we going to give away an RX-20? No, I think that's pushing too much. Maybe you have that later in the day. We won't do that right now. But the rotary extractors are by far the champion for restoring carpet that is trashed out. And we'll run this on the commercial carpet if we have time as well. Got so many things to play with today, so I don't want to spend all day on one thing. But I did want to make sense out of the systems that we have. And this area here where I cleaned with a wand earlier, let's go over it. Wand did a decent job. By most standards, people would say, "Oh, that looks phenomenal. It looks so much nicer." Let's go ahead and run it over the area that we pre-wanded, and you'll see a difference. I remember the day that my uncle taught me about rotary. He said to me this. He said, go get that metal thing in the truck. Because all I knew was this. This is the way I'd learned to clean 30 years ago on the original machines. And I went up to the truck and I brought in this heavy metal tool with one jet on the bottom. I think it had 2 jets on the bottom. And he said, clean the area in the middle of that room and go as many times as you can. And I did, and I scrubbed and scrubbed. Couldn't match it. He took the rotary just like this, and he went over it one time. And he just said, well, I thought you cleaned it. And it just, because of those multiple heads, the physical agitation, the squeegeeing action, the jetted performance, moving that up into the carpet, it made such a giant difference. Phenomenal performance that it was able to do. But look here, I mean, just without even much pre-spray, frankly, a lot of carpet performs better. Boom. Easy extraction. High flow, great heat. We're running heat temperatures about 235 degrees Celsius or Fahrenheit. And then go back over. Many people say the rotary is over wet. Well, you got to go back and run dry passes. And oftentimes when we're done running over an area with the rotary, we'll put this away, what I call the roller in the painting operation, hook up our wand, and then finish edging in the room and detailing out that section. Now, while we're talking about rotary, I wanted to dispel a rumor or thought that maybe you can't run a rotary extractor, all right, with a portable. You can. You just got to change the head out. Go ahead and shut the machine down for a second for us. We're going to run this on the portable real quick. And I'm happy to come back and spend some time with other students, or, you know, this is just kind of going over a variety of different things and techniques and areas. But I want to make sure that we show the different systems. So we're going to go ahead and just quickly show this running on a portable, switch the heads over to the portable head with the portable jetting. And that'll thread right in the same area that the first one was. Oops. There we go. Spin that in until it locks. Right there. And now this unit, instead of running off from the portable or the truck mount, we're going to take this water supply away just to show that it can be run this way. We're actually going to remove, in this particular setting, I'm going to take this side portion off. The way I've got my portable set up right now, we're using a PEX 500 with heat. The PEX 500 unit puts out as much as 500 PSI. The water goes into the bottom, keeps a nice heavy weight. The bottom of the unit keeps it stable. So you put your water right into the bottom tank. You can add your cleaning solution right into the tank. As a matter of fact, a lot of guys like to use their cleaner. They'll put it into the hot water into here and then dump that rinsing solution in the area. I'd like to talk to you about another product right now, Hydra-Free. Doyle, you said as often as I want. Here's another one. Let's do another giveaway. Hydra-Free over there on the shelf tub. Hydra-Free. And we're going to give a container of Hydra-Free away. DFC?
All right, we're ready for you, Shawn.
Let's do, man, I don't know how many participants there are. Let's go with participant number 63. If we have 63. We're going to give away a container of Hydra-Free. This can be used as a...
is Ramon Ruiz.
All right, Ramon. All right, and this detergent, this can be used in your cleaning solutions and your systems. You can add it to the water that goes in the portable. It's a powdered solution, detergent-free cleaning. So you're not using surfactants and detergency on this product. It has a pH of 10. Safe clean line from HydraMaster or Clean Master Chemistry. It does have the encapsulant to promote less wicking, so it's got that polymer additive into it. So that can literally go right into your container, mix it into here, and then put it into your clean water line or your conditioned water solution. All right, well, we've got the machine all ready to go, so we're just going to go ahead and connect it and just show that it can run as well and perform. Now I'm going to hook it right up to the bottom here. It's because of my hose connections happen to work a little faster and easier that way. The way I've got it set up. You know, Mario, come in here for a second. Bring the camera. I want to narrow in on something real quick. One thing that a lot of technicians and owners know, but technicians don't. This equipment pays your salary. Please take care of it. Wipe it down, clean it up when you're done with it. You know, great reminder to take care of and service all of your stuff when you're using it is to make sure that you take care of it every time you use it and clean them up. So please take care of your machines. I think owners know that. We know how much they cost us. Technicians sometimes forget. So same thing, hook up your water supply like I did from the truck mount. But in this case, we're running less water and it's going to help throw some noise up into the air. And we got multiple settings on the heat. One of the unique things about the PEX portable is its heat performance. It has one of the biggest capacity heating systems for a portable that I've ever come across. It gives us instant great temperature, but it's not the high flow. Your truck mounts are moving 2 gallons a minute of water. This is moving about a gallon or a little more than a gallon a minute of pump capacity of the heated water that you're going to bucket brigade in there and then pull out of the recovery once you're running. I'm going to turn on real quick. And we've got the heater running. We've got it hooked up to the extractor. And just to see the same operation, it's no different in running, except for you'll probably slow down a little bit. Most guys that run, you know, truck mounts, you can move a lot faster because you've got more flow. But with this portable, we're going to have to move it a little slower and move across there. But it gives you that great power scrub. Turn the water off and then run it dry to do your dry strokes and clean that area. And we'll come up over this area right here where we're using it on the truck mount before. Just hot water, really no pre-treatment on this particular area as we came across. All right. So there we have it. Now, before we leave the RX-20 beside, let's talk about the last 2 heads, and we're going to come back later today, and we're going to go a little deeper on some of the low moisture systems and such that are available. But this rotary extractor has 2 other unique heads that are available for it. It's got a pad driver, and it also has a concrete tool that is made for hard surface concrete and wide open areas where you can pressure clean. This head or this head can also be mounted on the bottom for low moisture pad driving or for high surface or hard surface pressure cleaning. Also options available for your RX-20. So great tool to be able to play with. All right, we've done some carpet. Let's talk about an absolute problem area for carpet for most cleaners. And the problem is you don't charge enough. Let's talk about stairs. 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 The nemesis of the cleaner. You know why it's such a challenge is because the customer is staring at them at eye level when they're done, when you're done cleaning. It's one of the biggest judgment areas of your work, and it's not even an area that has coverage under most warranties because of its sensitive, you know, abrasion. See, this carpet takes a huge hit. Your foot hits here, rolls over that nose, and cleans your feet as you go down. So most cleaners just don't give this the attention that it needs. Starting attention with this is to pre-vacuum your steps. Customers don't. Takes a while. You need to give it some time. You can go ahead and start the machine up. You could use power heads, like a rug rack. You could use your crevice tools hooked up to your vacuum line so that you can get down into those crevices and those crotch areas, get up that nose really well vacuumed. Dry vacuuming on these steps that just don't get the attention that they should needs to be dealt with. Most cleaners ignore it. Take the time to pre-vacuum and get that done first. Now, once you've done your pre-vacuuming step to dealing with your staircase, all right, the next thing we need to consider is getting your pre-treatment down. Well, in this case, we're going to use the same pre-treatment system like we used before. We're going to use our inline sprayer. Now, you could use a pump up, an electric, lots of different ways to put your product down. We're going to pre-treat the steps. After we pre-treat them, we're going to scrub them with our little brush, and then we'll show you using the new HydraMaster stair tool on those areas. First, we'll get our water line. Water line. Have Mario hook that up for us, and I'll have him do the pre-treatment on that. And then we're going to use this. I've just got a little drill brush on a little side grinder. Gives us a nice scrubbing tool to get those stairs worked after our pre-spray. Much more appropriate than trying to run a larger scrubber, CRB, or heck, I've even run an RX-20 on them before. So pre-treat the stairs. We don't need as much on the riser. We mostly need to focus on the landing or on the tread and the nose. You have tread, nose, riser, crotch. Those are the parts of the step. Once we pre-treated and got the free spray down, then we can agitate by working in maybe with our side brush. Get some good, those noses are always the needing extra help. Go ahead and hook up the, losing my headset. Getting too crazy here. And once we've got a good agitation and some dwell time done, then we can go ahead and use the stair tool. Stair tool technique, similar to the carpet with an upright wand, but a stair tool is nice because it gets you at a level where you can work on it. And it's at your level without having to bend over so much. So I generally will do a similar forward back stroke overlapping, kind of flooding the nose out as I drop it down, forward back, flood that nose out as I drop it down over the edge. Get you a little different angle on that. So bring that back and forth, flood that nose where it's heavily soiled and drop it down. I usually will do about 3 steps like this at one step, all the way across, get all my stairs down, go back over and do a dry stroke. And get that top step. And then that drool that I caused on the edge, that's where I take my hand vacuum loose, make sure that cup is clean. Always wipe that down. Sometimes it gets a little slime in there. And vacuum all your noses, especially when you've got that Hollywood or that bullnose wrap in there. And vacuum the crotch. Vacuum that nose. We had that extra cleaning done. Makes a big difference. Since we're here, we'll talk about other, we call this upholstery cleaning, upholstery stair cleaning. I charge anywhere between $4 and $6 extra per step to do this process for a customer, to do the stair upholstery work by hand. Some guys will use upholstery tools to do that, which you can. There's a couple of great tools that HydraMaster has out. They've got their newer, similar airfoil design hand tool for an open jet stair tool or upholstery where you can clean your stairs by hand with this. They also have the HydraMaster tool, which I wanted to bring in and transition to at this point. As we move to a type of upholstery, we talk about stair upholstery, but because you're hand cleaning and they were upholstered stairs. And we'll go ahead and show the HydraMaster tool, which could also be used for your stairs, or in this case, wall panels. Say you had interior wall panels in a commercial area, between workstations. These can be cleaned as well with an upholstery tool. You set it and forget it. You turn your valve on to your desired water flow, set it, and then you can go right over top of those areas. And the nice thing about what we call a performance high flow tool like this is that this tool won't allow water to go through that fabric into the other surfaces that are there. We can demonstrate that with this little plate here. I can put that on the surface of this plate as it's cleaning, have my water turning on as I'm going across. No water comes through the fabric. We don't get any flooding. So you're not going to worry about your cushions or other materials below have any damage from over-wetting into the subsurface of your cleaning area. So these high flow upholstery tools, very efficient for high performance, high flow style cleaning upholstery. Doyle, it's time. We need another product. We just all day. I want to give away stuff. Where are we at? We are continuing, and we've got, it looks like another 15 minutes.
15 minutes, Shawn. Yeah, about 15 minutes.
Awesome.
All right.
We got more stuff to go over. We're not nearly done. I have too much planned.
Don't worry. We'll come back to you later this afternoon and let you get more stuff in.
And maybe we'll put this on University Live and schedule some specific times for any one of these tasks for HydraMaster customers, where we could have some private times to just demonstrate any one of these things for open discussion. I'm open for that too.
All right, sounds good.
Let's give a number. Let's go with 42. 42. And we're going to give away some Fabric Master HD.
Well, Carl Hamasu is going to win the HydraMaster HD.
Good job, Carl. And that would be a great product. HydraMaster HD is an awesome upholstery product for high foaming activity. We're going to utilize it as we transition to our next activity area, just for some standard upholstery that we would be dealing with. We've got a synthetic chenille style fabric here. Yeah, it's got a little fuzzy texture to the surface of it. And this type of cleaning, we always work on a work table in a controlled area so you don't have any over drool or drop below you. Need some water in this guy. And what we're going to do is take our HydraMaster HD and we're going to mix that up into a bucket. Now, you don't always have to use bucket. I like using buckets because it can control your application. We'll take this product, put it into a bucket, mix it up with our sponge, and then sponge the product directly onto the surface. So it creates us a really nice work area. We're going to use that for our flood treatment, which will be one of our last ones. Just need the water in the other bucket. Half that water would be fine in any of the other small buckets. Perfect. So we're just going to put a little bit of Fabric HD and actually make a shampoo out of it, or a light detergent reaction, so that we can have, grab my measuring cup, and then we'll take our bonnet mitt, and we can apply our product right through a bonnet.
Shawn?
Yes, sir.
Can we give a round of applause to Mario? He's working his tail off there helping you.
Oh, no, he's awesome. Mario is phenomenal.
Mario, you are awesome.
Thank you. Come on over here, Mario. Get on the camera. Mario is terrific. He's been phenomenal, great helper. Mario has over 30 years. He's older than I am. He has more experience than I do. He's made more mistakes probably. Mario ran a ChemDry for years. He has been in the industry for many years. He's a master cleaner. He's phenomenal and a great partner with what we're doing here. So thanks for the recognition, Doyle. This bonnet mitt. The bonnet mitt here, we'll take our bonnet mitt, mix up our cleaning shampoo in hot water into our container, into a bucket, and we can apply it to get a really even application as we moisten that fabric, maybe a little bit more and a little bit more activity where there's a little more soiling. We'll pre-scrub that. If there's heavy soil along that arm where the dog is surfing, you can give it a little bit more activity. Now, you don't have to use a bonnet mitt to use upholstery. You could also use a conventional sprayer. You could spray your product on and get it evenly out. Here's a new tool. Just found another new toy. Electric battery powered sprayer. Yeah, a little battery power guy. That's pretty cool. Nice mist for a controlled mist, and then maybe a scrub application. Once your product has been worked in, now we had pre-vacuumed this, because this particular one actually had some drywall dust on it, so we pre-vacuumed it thoroughly. Once we pre-vacuumed, treated the whole piece, then we can grab our upholstery tool and we can service over top of it. I like to service upholstery by working around the base perimeter first to turn our moisture on. You can clean forward and backwards. It's got vacuum on both sides. We'll clean this side. Again, having it up on a work table makes your upholstery much more easily handled. You're not have to bend over and around it. Got one more side here. Quick and easy over. Turn our water off. Go back into our dry strokes. And then work across the top panel. Wet stroking back. Oh, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous results. So bring that up in here, bud. And we can get phenomenally clean results. Easy. No, just labor-free. Let the high laminar water flow of this tool do the work for you. Set it and forget it. Move over. I'm doing my wet passes. Just over, back and forth. A lot of times I'll strap this to my arm if I'm doing tons of upholstery to keep that weight off my wrist. And we'll get our rinse passes. And then we'll turn the water off and go back over and do dry passes over the whole piece. Once we've done our dry strokes, one step a lot of cleaners fail to do is their final wipe. So we like to take a nice white terry cloth towel, fold it into portions, wipe the surface with a rolling wipe in one direction, and check the towel for any residue transfer. See if you've removed the soiling and physically check yourself. Once you've done your full detail, if the fabric has any kind of pile, you want to be sure to groom it with your carding or your brass fluffing tools to set that texture, especially if it's a natural fiber and you've been more sensitive, you have more sensitivity for texture change. Don't forget to clean the wood, wipe all the wood down, potentially polish it, fix scratches, or any of those challenges that might happen. You can fix little scratches, imperfections on wood, lots of neat techniques to dealing with. Let's just quickly talk about this. I know we're running into our last 7 minutes of time, and I've got so much I want to talk about, 5 or 20 more activities. Upholstery, you know, the legs, don't forget again, the wood, always remove the popcorn. Mario, were you eating caramel popcorn on this chair? Yeah, he says he's keto. He's in full ketosis now. Yeah, don't forget to get in that underside of those cushions. Get your crevice tools in there to vacuum all those detail areas. The dry side work on upholstery is such a detail that people need to pay attention to. This might look fancy, but this piece here is actually fully synthetic, super easy to clean, and you can clean it with the exact same technique that I just did that piece there. The challenges tend to be these arms, cuffing your tool to keep good vacuum and performance as you go over the whole surfaces. We're going to keep going on upholstery. We got lots more. Keep you guys going. You know, if you're dealing with sensitive materials, you're dealing with investment rugs like my war blanket here, my war rug, September 11th. You're dealing with fancy textiles like this one. This is hand painted fabric cover, you know, sham over top on a velvet material. It was originally just an original velvet, smooth cotton velvet, hand painted material. Client of this gave this to me because I appreciated it so much. She had 6 of them and didn't need them anymore. So that is so cool. Well, I wouldn't run the truck mount on this. All I would do with this is whip a light foam shampoo with my HydraMaster fine fabric detergent. If it was really, you know, a greasy soil and I wasn't worried about paint like I am here, you know, I might take my fine fabric shampoo, mix that into a bucket like I did earlier, and boost it with a little natural orange, or even use a little natural orange and a toweling motion across it. But if I'm dealing with custom stenciled embroidery or fancy fabrics, there's lots of tools. The one nice thing about the HydraMaster, DryMaster system tools, they control your moisture. There's no high pressure impact. So you can clean, maybe not this one, but definitely some of the delicate pieces that are out there. And there are lots of tools for getting inside those fabrics and spotting. This is a spotting spatula, injection into the fabrics to get deodorizer inserted down below. Might be a technique or something you might have to be approaching with. All right, last little bit. I've got 2 other sections over here, and we're just going to whiz through because we don't want to lose sight of it. And we'll come back. We're going to be back here this afternoon as well. But I did set up a quick little urine station. So our unicorn got busy. And that unicorn ran all over the shop at night and casting spells. You know how I know it was everywhere? Not because it was peeing everywhere, because Kevin Cluth at Pinnacle in Rochester told me, look for the glitter. I saw glitter everywhere. I knew this unicorn had been in there. Why do I have a unicorn? Well, we have this unicorn in our home, in our shop here, because we came into a house that had been contaminated with drywall and silica dust from concrete grinding. And the little kid was playing on this. And we said, let's get it out of the house so we can thoroughly HEPA vacuum it, groom it, clean the main, clean the whole piece. We actually did bring this here to do a full in-shop cleaning, but thought it was kind of fun to talk about unicorn pee. Let's take a quick look at ways we might approach a subsurface treatment or issue with an issue with an animal accident. Some of you are prepared and have gone to the installation classes, and you know how to use the tools to disengage the carpet. But there are techniques when you can't pull the carpet back easily, where you can work through the surface of it. And there's a variety of flood treatments that are out there to doing that with. I'm just going to quickly demonstrate some processes to do that. One of the new products that we've just brought in and been playing with is Odor Slayer. This stuff has got an amazing scent, phenomenal product. Definitely would give this some room on the space on the shelves of the truck. But for today, we're going to use an oxidizing process. I need the gray bucket, please. And I'm just going to show you how to do a quick flood treat with this is a Mighty tool that Mighty has put out. This is their flood extraction tool. We're going to run it for just a quick second. One of the things I need vacuum and water, please. And I've got the tools. Thank you, Mario. We're going to mix up our flood treatment, but the first thing we want to think about is that this carpet should be extracted first. If we had heavy urine saturation on the surface of the carpet, I would have pre-treated it with my urine pre-spray, my UPS first, to break down the urine on the surface. Extract that with a wand from the surface of the carpet. Once I've got the surface soils counteracted, now I'm going to do a subsurface treat. I've got a backing that allows me to know I'm going through a primary and secondary, through a non-water barrier backing, to be able to hopefully treat a little deeper with what we call controlled flooding. We've got some hot water we've got ready here in the bucket. We're going to go ahead and take some of our USR, all right, urine stain remover with multi-phase deodorizer, and go ahead and add it right into our hot water. We're going to mix that up. Hopefully y'all can hear me okay? Yep. Great. All right, so I've got my urine stain treatment. It's all activated. It's got the bubbly activity happening. We're going to go ahead and do a quick treatment. We do have low moisture tools too. Oh my gosh, I have so much to play with today. We're going to go ahead and hook up the flushing tool. Bring that back over. Awesome. This one has a vacuum flush port at the bottom, and it actually injects some moisture through the tool as we're putting it through. So we can do a power flush right through the carpet. And there it goes. With just water if I want to do a pre-rinse. Now I can also treat, what I often will do is treat right around that area. So I get a deeper treatment into that floods and get a nice exchange deeper into the pile. Always be sure to do thorough extraction to flush all of that moisture back out again. And this tool gives you the ability to do a power rinse during that process. Oh my gosh, Doyle, it's 12:45 or my time. We got to give another chemical. I think we need to give away a tub of USR with multi-phase.
I think that's a great idea, Shawn.
Attendance
Give me a number.
54. 54.
Number 54 is Noel Piercy.
Awesome, congratulations. All right, guys, one last section for us. And then we're gonna give the time back over to Doyle. We did prep some carpet over here. I'm gonna have Mario quickly show you a couple of steps. Mario's the low moisture king. He knows his low moisture business. And we've got a Cymex. We've got the Trinity system here. We'll start with a Cymex. You can see as it's putting out ZipDri, that's the product we're running. ZipDri, triple strength. Is our juice. Nice Encap product, doing a low moisture. It's got a pretty good foam action already preset. But generally you run that like you're cutting grass, back and forth across an area, pumping the trigger, allowing the pads to be saturated, usually a wet pass, and then often we'll go back over with a dry pass. So it's kind of like cutting grass, back and forth. Doesn't have any torque like a standard swing machine, so you don't have to worry about it flipping out of your hands. It runs very easy and smooth on the floor. So that is the use. Pretty wet. We've probably got more juice down because the tank was allowing more to flow than we planned. We're going to go ahead and switch over to the Trinity system using the same Encap product. And this is being done with a slight mist and spray. We've got this little battery charged compressor sprayer. So he's going to pre-mist out the area in this technique instead of letting it flow through the pads, misting the product down. And then we're going to do what we call pad capping. And this is using an orbital that doesn't just go around, but it goes side to side and back and forth. And you can see it jiggles. We call it a jiggler. And it jiggles. And the nice thing about a jiggling motion like this is that it cleans not just side and leans the fiber over, it goes side to side, back and front. So it actually gets all sides of the fiber in a much more efficient agitation and recovery step than some of the other pad systems, or definitely more than just the full rotary. The Cymex makes 3 rotary head distance challenges that goes over top.
Once you've done your pre-vacuum and your Encap process, let the carpet dry, tell the customer to come back to work. Anyway, listen team, we've had a ball hanging out with you today. Well, I hope this is what we were looking for. So for a whirlwind fun time of doing some cleaning stuff. Thanks for the opportunity.
Absolutely, Shawn. It was absolutely fantastic. We appreciate all of your energy and enthusiasm.
Everybody, thanks for the opportunity. I'll be back in a few hours. We'll do some hard surface cleaning. We're going to run that RX-20 on some concrete and talk LVT and some planking, which is a big part of our business. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Shawn.